all, I'm so glad to see all the people that were off on sick leave back. That's really good. So you're all rearing to go for the summer. Mary and Alice and Jean, that's great. Nobody else was off sick, I don't think.
Well, thank you for the card.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have Amy. I remembered Amy, but now you're from King's College.
Yes, I'm a Master's of Social Work student. My placement is at the Geriatric Mental Health Program at Victoria Hospital. So I was just coming to I'm not originally from London, so I just like to see all the different agencies that are in the community. So I came to visit with Bev at Third Age Outreach, and thank you very much for the opportunity to sit on your group today.
Oh, the more the merrier. So Amy's here to see what we do to keep ourselves mentally active as we get on in years. And I'm very pleased to welcome Carrie Webster. She's here from Selling Sisters. Carrie's going to speak on about what they do, and I think everyone here is going to be pretty interested because downsizing is something a lot of us are. Even though I've already done it once, I think you just accumulate more.
You do. You get rid of it and then you bring more
I know,
in,
and I've got some boxes I haven't opened for 3 years, so that tells you don't probably need that stuff.
Probably.
Or I'll open it and go, oh, I didn't remember I had that.
It's like Christmas. You
I
forget
know,
what you have.
I know, but then I think, I don't really need this,
Yeah.
So, thanks a lot for coming.
Thanks for having me. I am pleased to be here. I'm glad that Leslie gave us a call and we could arrange this meeting today. I'm here to talk about my business and how it can, there may be parts of it that you can benefit from in terms of downsizing, decluttering, and we also do estate clearing. I'll talk a little bit about our business and myself, and then we'll field some questions, and I'd be happy to answer anything that may come about during the session as well. So our business is called The Selling Sisters Estate Clearing, and that is run by myself and my sister. She's really my sister, and we get asked that a lot because we don't look anything alike. There's actually an article here that was written by the Free Press a few years ago, and there's a photograph. Leslie couldn't be here today, and so anyways, you can have a look if you care to. We started the business in May of 2007. So we've been running for 5 years strong, which is a great achievement for a small business in a relatively new marketplace in terms of consignment selling online, because we do almost all of our sales online on the computer. The business first got a slow start. I actually started on my own after my husband and I moved from Toronto to London. You just pack things, and then as you're unpacking, I have these things, I don't have room for them. So I thought, well, what should I do? So I put a few things on eBay. I had bought some things on there before, and thought, well, maybe this is kind of a neat way to get rid of some stuff. So listed a few things, and they sold. I was really happy and make a little bit of money. And then I had people asking me, neighbors, friends, can you do this for me? Can you sell this? Next thing you know, my phone's ringing off the hook. So I thought, well, maybe I can do this as a business. I had worked in the marketing field for all of my other years prior to that, and when I first got started, I was on maternity leave, so I was at home and busy being a new mother, but also thinking of I'm back in London, I need a job, what can I do? I like being at home, having those freedoms. So that's how I got started with taking items on consignment. Within 1 year, I was so busy that I could not handle it on my own. So at that time, my sister had been changing jobs, and she approached me and said, well, what do you think if I work with you? She has a sales and marketing background, mostly customer service. So I thought, well, I do need some help, so we tried it as a trial basis, working with a family member. You're not quite sure how it's going to go, but it's actually gone very well, and we have a good rapport with one another personally and professionally, and we spent a lot of time together, and it's been working out great. So that's how the Selling Sisters Estate Clearing was founded in 2007. Like I said, my background is marketing, so I take care, in our business, I take care of all the marketing. So when items come in for sale, I'm the one who researches the item, photographs it, lists it on the computer. I take care of every aspect of the marketing of whatever we're selling. Her expertise is customer service, so she does all of the outcalls where we will go out to do a consultation with people if they are doing an estate clearing, or if they're downsizing and they have a large amount of items. She will go to you to make that happen, to give advice, and also to guide you in which direction that we recommend that you can take. The biggest part of our business is estate clearing, and there are a few reasons why people have to clear an estate. One would be if maybe the person living in the residence, something's happened and maybe they have to move to different living, a nursing home, retirement home, that type of thing. Or it could be maybe there's been a death and now there's a house filled with stuff. The person is not there anymore, so then the family or friends, whoever's designated, has to deal with that huge task of cleaning out the house. So there's a lot of issues that go with that. Emotionally, you could be grieving. You've got someone else's house full of stuff. What do you do? Where do you start? What am I going to do with everything? I can't take it home. So what do I do? Do I get a garbage bin and everything goes out? We've heard of that happening, and we don't recommend that because it's so sad when that happens, because people's possessions, you take pride in what you have, and you hope that that isn't going to happen. So what we can do is come in to advise. We do that for free. We do a free consultation where we will come in and make recommendations to what you can do, meaning these items can be resold. These items can be sold at live auction, because we also do that with furniture and larger pieces. Then there's the donation aspect. There are things that can be donated, and then the very last resource is garbage, where we have a junk man, or depending on how much there is, to stuff that can't be sold or donated, it's thrown away. So we will go in and help with that. That's the main part of our business, is estate clearing. And we have different ways that we work with our clients. We customize the plan with them depending on what they want, what their needs are, what their goals are, and especially what the timeline is. We've had different situations where they just give us the keys and say, call me when you're done. Okay? So then we go in and everything in the house is taken out, and it would be divided into these various groups that we recommend: resale or donate or live auction. On eBay, our consignment sales consist of items that are shippable. So things like dining room tables, sofas, rocking chairs, things like that. We don't sell those online because the shipping aspect is just too much for us to take on, and it's very expensive. So those types of items get sent down for local auction, that we use an auction house here in London, and they come pick the items up. We arrange everything when we do an estate clearing, whether it's donation, auction, or for items that will be resold on eBay. The next part of our business that we focus on, or our clients will come to us, is through downsizing. You have your family home, the kids are gone, so you need something smaller. So you're going from a larger residence to a smaller one. You can't take everything with you, so then you have to decide, what do I really want? What is going to fit in my new place? And what do I do with what's left over? So we sort of treat that the same way as an estate clearing, where we can advise of what to do with furniture, and if there are goods that you want to sell, we can help with that. The third part of our business is decluttering, where people just have a lot of stuff, and you might get rid of some things and then more creeps back in, and maybe it could be through a collection that you had that maybe you don't want anymore or have room for, or you've lost interest, Or it could also be through an inheritance. A lot of times people receive items through an inheritance, a family member, a friend that has passed things on to you, and then you start to become inundated and you're suffocating almost with all of the items in your house. So we can help alleviate some of that with the decluttering part of our business. So there's a couple of ways that items come to us. We can come to you, especially if it's an estate clearing. Obviously we have to go and do that. If you have a large amount of items, we will come and pack it up and take it away. We don't charge for that. And or you can bring things to us, whatever will work for you. And also when you bring things to us, it doesn't have to be everything in one shot. If you're cleaning out one area at a time, your china cabinet or whatever it may be, you've got a few boxes, you can come, call us, make an appointment, drop it off. And then in a few months when you feel energized again and you want to start doing a little more, then you can just, dribs and drabs is fine, or truckloads is fine too, and that does happen as well. Now people will ask all the time, well, what do you sell? What are the kinds of items that come in your door? And we sell almost everything. We sell figurines, china, crystal, art glass, vintage toys, depression glass, home decor, sterling silver, whether it be flatware, trays, teapots. There's many home decor items, especially of an older age, that were made of sterling. And it doesn't even have to be in great shape, because sterling can also be sold as by the weight. Because sometimes you'll get like maybe a child's cup. It's all dented and bent in, and someone may not want that to buy to display, but someone may want it to buy and melt down, and then they use that silver for other things. Same with gold. We will sell gold jewelry, pins, brooches, whatever you may have, earrings, and we sell that by the weight as well. And coins, different things like that. Back to the gold jewelry, you know, right now we see a lot of ads for gold buyers. They're everywhere. You see billboards, they're on commercials on TV. We can sell your gold and we will get you more money than they will offer. Even after our commission would come off, you would still end up with more. So just be careful if you are thinking about doing that you check out a few places, and we can give you estimates as well based on the grams, etc.
Where is your office or your building that you sell?
We work from our home office. We have a large house just off Warncliffe on Center Street, Baseline and Warncliffe area. It's a very large space, and we just ask that you make an appointment before you come over, because sometimes we're not there. So it's best if you call ahead. And we work Monday to Friday, basically 9 to 4, thereabouts. And we're around all the time, especially for those of you who do use a computer and use email. We check our emails several times a day. Sometimes you feel like you get off it and it's dinging, you have another message. So there's lots of ways to get a hold of us to book those appointments. Things that we do not sell are clothing, records, books, magazines. I wouldn't say we would never sell books or records, but it has to be something extra special. Books and records are really tough, and a lot of people hang on to them, especially records, thinking that they're going to be have a good value to them, but unless they are maybe signed, the jacket is signed by someone in the band or as part of the group, unopened, it almost needs to be absolutely pristine. Otherwise, we can never find a buyer for it for more than a few dollars. So records are a tough one as well. Does everyone know what eBay is? Yeah. For those of you who want a little information about it, eBay was started in 1995, and it has become the world's largest trading marketplace for buyers and sellers. And on any given day, I looked it up yesterday, on any given day there are 112 million listings on eBay. So there's a lot of stuff to buy out there. And it's a busy place. There are 27 different eBay websites that are in every language imaginable. So people in Russia would go onto the Russian website because all of the information would be in their language. And they can still buy things from possibly myself, and our listings are in English, but when they're on their Russian website or whichever one, it will automatically translate it into their own language that they're logged into. So with that, it's great because we sell 80% of the items we sell leave Canada. Very few actually stay here in Canada. Probably 50% goes to the US and the balance goes to Europe and Australia. Australians buy a lot of stuff from the Selling Sisters. They must really like what we have to offer. They buy figurines, cups and saucers, and decorative chinaware, cake plates, things like that. They really like that kind of stuff. It's funny that when we get certain items in, you can almost guess where it's going to go depending on what the item is. And so it's really a fun part of our business, the new items coming in every day and things you've never seen before and selling it all over the world. We ship to South Africa, Russia, Portugal, Malta, everywhere. Our own personal sales, last year we sold and shipped over 5,000 items. So we're busy. And we ship 3 times a week. We have an account with Canada Post. They're happy to see us because we come with full carloads of parcels. So we're spending lots of money with Canada Post. We have our own Postal Scales. We generate our own labels. We don't go to the traditional counter where someone may go to ship something. We generate it all on the computer, print it in our office, pack it all there, and then we just drop it off at the postal depot. We actually go to the depot versus to a counter because our volume is too high. They don't want us going to a counter because they can't hold all the parcels that we have. So we go down to the depot down on Bathurst Street and drop our stuff off. They make a special concession for us.
Someone had a huge collection of something.
Yes.
Say like 40 boxes full of something.
Yeah.
Would you take it all at once and store it somewhere and
Yes.
sell it bit by bit?
Yes. Sometimes when it comes to a large collection, we're working on a collection right now of figurines from a client who lives in Chatham. And she has 800 figurines. Where she didn't bring them all to us. About every 3 months she brings maybe about 60 to 70 figurines, and when those dwindle down then she brings more. But we did have a case where we had an estate cleaned out and the lady had passed away and her husband had previously deceased her. And they were both big collectors. He collected train memorabilia, farming type of, anything farming and trains, collector plates, figurines, decorative things. She collected dolls and precious moments figurines, as well as she had a gigantic collection of Hallmark Christmas ornaments. And so what had happened is this family, the family was cleaning out. They put the house up for sale. It sold in record time, which they thought the house is going to take a long time to sell. So anyways, it sold really quickly and they had to get everything cleaned out. So we went and we helped them and we packed up and we brought 4 van loads full of stuff. We had about 3,000 items and we took it all at one time. and we just slowly got through it. Normally our contract with our customers is for 6 months, but in a case like that, we have to extend it because of the amount of items that come in. And you don't want to list everything all at once. You want to do a little bit, get those items sold, because you don't want them to compete with one another as well, which then drives your prices down. So you do a little bit, then wait to get those sold and do some more. So that lot of items, there was about 3,000 pieces. It took us about 13 months. And there were a few things left over at the end that didn't sell, maybe about 4 boxes. Sometimes, you can't sell absolutely everything. Some things you think, okay, we'll sell them, and then they don't go. So, and then they ended up deciding to donate that to charity. So that was great for them. But we do take large quantities. The house that we work out of is 4,500 square feet. And there's a 4-car garage. So we have a lot of storage if necessary. So yes, we can take large amounts at one time. It's a little overwhelming when those big amounts come in. You think, woo, that's going to take a bit of time, but it's good. You have a question?
Yeah, while the items are in your storage, are they insured?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
We have insurance. We have business insurance, and we are bondable as well, so everything's good when it comes to that. So yeah, we're very busy. We sell lots of different types of items, and eBay is a great marketplace if you're looking to buy something or sell. For example, if let's say you have your dishes and you broke a dinner plate, and maybe my pattern was discontinued 20 years ago. How am I going to get a replacement for my set? You can go on eBay and you can find it. If you go on and you can't find it today, check next week because it will probably be there. Like when I mentioned the numbers earlier, 112 million listings at any given time. You'll find what you're looking for. We've had awesome collections of items come in. We had an interesting one, a pen nib collection that came in through a St. Thomas family, and we had a hard time trying to put a value on it. So what we decided to do, pen nibs, so the little tips that you put on a pen when you put it into the inkwell. And we ended up putting that on auction and starting it at $400, and it sold for almost $2,000. And the fellow that brought them to us nearly had a heart attack. He couldn't believe it. So we were really happy that we did such a good job on that, and they ended up going to France. So sometimes you have these things and you think, well, nobody wants that, but you should call us first because we can definitely give you some advice. Question?
What percentage do you take at the sale?
We charge 30% commission. And then eBay also has their fees, and they charge 15%. So it's a 55-45. But keep in mind that we do take care of every aspect of the sale. We inspect the item, we photograph it, we collect the payment, it gets packaged, it gets shipped. So essentially, we obtain the items from you, and from then on, you just watch your mailbox for checks. We pay out once a month. You get paid the same time that we get paid. We don't draw a weekly check. We pay ourselves once a month. And the statements are mailed out on the 15th with your check, and it's based on the month prior sales from the first to the last day of the month prior. Sorry?
But when you put something through an auction, the auctioneer's commission would be above that too, and the auctioneer's commission is what, 30% also maybe? Or?
If we have items that we take to local auction,
Yes.
we have an agreement with them that they give us a discounted rate because we bring them items all the time and we bring them quality items. So when we take something to auction, it's a flat 35%. The auction house takes 20 and we take 15. And we facilitate getting the items, we arrange it with them. We might take photographs to show them, are you interested in these items? We arrange for cartage. If there are cartage If things need to be carded, especially when you're dealing with furniture, there are extra fees and the auction house bills for that. We don't get involved in that part of it. And they charge, currently they're charging $85 an hour for that, which is very competitive. If you call around, some of them are even more than that. Not too many are lower, but it's expensive to move your stuff.
Which auction do you deal with?
We deal with gardeners downtown. We deal with the fine auction house on York, and we also will deal with the weekly sale that they have on Hamilton Road. The fine auction sales they have about 4 times a year. So for those extra special pieces of furniture or artwork, we will put it into their catalog sale if they will take it. If that works for you as well, because you're going to get a lot more at the fine art sale than you will at the weekly sale. So it's live auction is a bit of a necessary evil. Sending things to live auction is something that we have to do when we deal with estates, especially with furniture, because we can't help with selling it on eBay. If you can try and sell it yourself, that's always an option. But often when we're clearing out an estate or there's furniture to deal with, there's always a timeline. The house is sold, or I'm moving, I have to get my stuff out, that type of thing. So they will take the items and they will sell them. But going to an auction, it's definitely for buyers, because you can pick things up for a good price. For sellers, it's not the best sometimes. So you have to really weigh out, maybe if you, depending on the quantity of what you have and the quality of the items that you have, is it going to be worth it? Sometimes you get a better feeling in your own heart if you can donate, or it depends on every situation, and we will help you to decide that. But auctions are, live auctions are tough. They are fun when you go to them, and if you're looking to buy things, it can be really fun.
I was at Gardner's once with my husband when he was alive, and we saw this in the paper, thought there was some interesting things, and there were Indian, like native artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw these people there that were native. And when they brought that stuff out for auction, they all stood up and they were protesting
Oh, really?
that that this stuff was, I
Right.
can't even remember what the auctioneer did. I think he did go ahead with it, but they stood up right in the middle of the hole and they didn't
Oh,
sit
really?
down. Yeah, it was kind of scary
That would
actually.
be a little, yeah, any kind of a protest can be a little unnerving
Uh-huh.
for sure. Yeah.
But you never know what's going to happen at an auction.
You never
That's
know.
why it's fun.
There's lots of funny things that can happen.
Do you ever come across unusual things or unusual sales, like what I read not too long ago about the Wayne Gretzky rookie card that went for $94,000? So how do you know if you have something that's worth a lot?
If we came across something that we weren't really quite sure about, then that would be something that we might call in some other experts to help with the value of that. Another thing to do is when we put things for sale, you can put reserve prices on. So maybe something like that. We might want to say, autographed card, $200, buy it. That might be something you want to put on an auction, and you let the buyers battle it out on the computer. Or with that, you may want to consider putting that into a well-advertised auction, maybe with Sotheby's or something like that, where it's going to get worldwide exposure, that type of thing.
Yeah, but how do you determine the quality of it? I guess they would use their own expert.
Yes, like something, a sports memorabilia, they do have graders that will grade things and authenticate.
Because I look on eBay, not because I have one of those, but I do have some things, and I was trying to figure out who rates the quality of or the condition of a card to put on eBay.
You would need to go to what I would recommend is that you contact a sports memorabilia store, and they will provide recommendations of who you can use to do your grading. In London, I believe you have to send your things to Toronto or go to Toronto to have sports cards and things like that
Do
authenticated.
you do that sort of thing?
We can help facilitate with that for sure. But if you want to do a bit of research on your own, that's where I would sort of start. Maybe contacting someone in Toronto for the sports memorabilia. And if you have a digital camera, you can photograph them so at least they can see. They can't grade it from the photograph. They have to have the actual piece. But you can use that as a stepping stone to say, well, this is what I have. What do you think? And they might say, oh, yes, you should bring it in. We'll grade it and give you a value. Or there was thousands of those made and lots of people have them in reproduction. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So when items come into us, like I mentioned earlier, I do all of the marketing. So everything gets inventoried because Leslie might bring something in and then 2 days later somebody else brings something in. And for us to keep track of whose items belong to who, everything gets given a code. It's all inventoried so that we can keep track of what belongs to who, when it came in the door, and when it sells, where do we find that in our storage so that it can be shipped. So I take care of all of the inventory part. I do the photographing and we list the item. And Leslie takes care of all of the shipping and accounting. So she's the one that signs and mails you those nice checks every month. And she has a big job with the shipping. Shipping is challenging. Even if you think of yourself, you go with a parcel and they ramble off all the options that you may have to ship that with. We have like I said, our own postal scales, and we do all of our own shipping. Also, for every item that I list, I will put the shipping options on the listing, so someone buying in Ireland can look up and see exactly how much it's going to cost to get that item to their door. This shipping is different prices, obviously, depending on where it's. If it's going to Toronto, it's going to be different than it's going to Washington, let's say. So the shipping aspect is a bit challenging with that. Part of our job also is that we educate people a little bit about eBay, how it works. And you can ask questions, you can give a call, send an email, and we'll be more than happy to help you figure out how it's possible that I can put a cup and saucer on the computer and someone in Moscow buys it tomorrow and they get it next week in the mail. It is sort of, you have to wrap your head around it. That can actually happen, and yes, it can. We do it every day. And it's a great way to help people to declutter, to take a lot of pressure off, to get rid of some stuff, but then also put some money in your pocket. Another thing that we recommend is if people are thinking, oh, I would like to start thinking about downsizing, or you can enlist your family as well to see, is there anything that you want or are you interested in? And if they aren't, or they don't return your phone calls or whatever it might be, then we can help you do that. And it is for your own peace of mind if you can deal with some of those things on your own, a bit at a time, because when you leave a whole house full of stuff for someone else to deal with, it's really, really hard. And so if you can do a little bit at a time, it's really good to do that. And another thing that we do is we're part of a networking group that's called For Wise Moves. And that networking group consists of about 12 companies that all deal, their main customer is seniors. So our networking group meets once a month, and it's made up of all different companies that can help facilitate pretty much whatever you may need. If you're moving, if you need some financial advice, if you are looking to stay in your home but maybe you're having some mobility issues, we have custom mobility as part of our group. You have our company, which helps with downsizing, decluttering, that type of thing. And there was an article in the paper in the summer, and I have a copy here if anybody would like to take that with them. They can grab one of these, and it has all of the members of our group. We are just a networking group. We don't work together as a company to service. We just use each other to refer, and we have confidence in each other's companies that we can refer without hesitation, that they will do a good job for you if you decide to go with.
When you put something on eBay, would we be able to look at it and see it?
Yes, actually, what we...
That's fun.
It is fun. What we do is when I'm inventorying your items and they're starting to be listed, I actually post a link on our website that just has your first name. Don't put your last name and address. People don't know who you are. It's just the first name. So you can click on that and the computer will sort just your items. It will sort all of eBay and just show you what belongs to you personally. We set that up when we do the listing. We assign codes and that type of thing. And that's on the internet. So you can check that 24 hours a day. You can look at the listings, read them, see what the pricing's at, and if they are listed as an auction, then of course you can watch to see what the activity and what the action is on those items. There are several ways to list on eBay. One is auction, and another is fixed price. So fixed price means that you can list something and say, this item is for sale, you can buy it right now for $29.95, just like you went to a store, you pick something off the shelf and you can buy it. So we can list that way on eBay. The other way is auction, where there's a specified time when that item ends, whatever the highest price is. If it reaches the reserve, it will sell to the top bidder. So that's where you would watch to see people bidding against each other, and hopefully you're seeing the price going up.
And sometimes at the very last second. I know about this because we used to, when my husband was alive, he bought and sold PS2
Oh, okay.
Constantly. So I know, and when he would buy it, he would wait like till the very.
Oh,
I
yes.
bought it.
Yeah.
He'd say he won it, but you don't win.
Well,
You have to pay for it.
yeah, you do have to pay for it, but it does say you win. You get a nice little balloon at the screen. Yes.
I just wondered how long you hold on to things, like how long you attempt to sell something,
Sorry?
and then what happens afterwards.
What our contract term is for 6 months in most cases, and when we get near the end of that 6-month term, we will contact you and say, okay, we have a few things left. What do you want to do? We give you the control over that. It is your stuff. We're selling it for you, but it still does belong to you, so you have the control there. And we can either do reductions to try to get things sold, put things on, they call it markdown. If at the end of the term there's a few things left, it's up to you. You can say, it left my house, I don't want it back. You can donate it to charity, and we have a few charities that we have some boxes, and when they're full, they get put in the car and we drop them off. Most times we go to the Men's Mission, or the Mission store downtown, and we also donate to Goodwill, and depending on other things, can go to other places as well. Or if you want the items back, you just simply make an appointment to pick those up. We do have in our contract that says if you don't come and pick them up, we will dispose of it. But lots of times a year later, we're calling, we still have your stuff here, like there's a couple little odd things left over. And I don't actually think we've ever just gotten rid of stuff. If people just don't, you just keep calling them because you don't want to just get rid of it. Yes?
Do you pick things up, or do you have to do?
We do both. We pick things up if there's a large quantity. If you have 1 or 2 boxes, we probably won't pick that up. We would ask that you bring it to us. If there is an issue with I don't drive, or you have mobility issues, those types of things, we do make exceptions. But usually there's someone that takes you out or can drop the items off for you. You don't actually have to be the person to drop them off. Someone can do it on your behalf, because they would know how to contact you. We get all your information, name, phone number, etc.
I'm not here to advertise for you, but when I moved out of my house, like I said, we have a huge collection. Gardeners took 40 boxes of Fiesta Ware, and they had an online auction of just my stuff, and you're right about that. things competing against
It
each
does.
other. I did not get the amount of money I should have got.
Right,
I got $7,000. I should have got like 15.
right.
My son-in-law was so furious, but I wanted it gone because I was
Right.
moving. But I still have the good pieces that you're going to get. Because here's the thing with eBay people. There's sections where people, like, that really wasn't advertised properly at Gardner's. I don't think that online. People who collect a certain thing, like Fiesta ware from all over the world, look on Fiesta ware on eBay.
That's right.
And they're willing to pay top dollar if you've got the top stuff. And, you know, and if you have your pictures and it shows everything, and these people, and you probably have a lot of stars beside your name, right?
We have
probably
100% feedback.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the feedback, like, that's a big thing. We had good feedback too. But I never did it because to me it was just clutter. I had like packing stuff in the garage. I don't want to do that. My kids tell me now, Mom, you should just sell the stuff on eBay now yourself. It's fun. No, it's not fun. Not to me. It's
Right.
not fun. It was fun to him.
Right.
And it was fun when stuff came in and I saw what we got.
Right,
It was not fun to me to do that other stuff. I hate the packing and the taking
Packing
it to
is,
the...
yeah,
And I think that putting it on eBay, something that's specialized, you're going to get more money because more people who know what they're looking at are going to want
That's
that
right.
particular medium green, for instance, is the prize thing. A Fiesta collector knows that. Somebody
Right.
who's just looking is going to go, that green looks just like that green.
right.
You know, why should I pay more? So that's why I think I didn't get what I should have gotten. Also, they blanket put everything out there at once.
Yeah, and like I was saying, that when we try to separate it out a little bit because it does compete with one another.
Yeah.
And another thing that eBay buyers, if they're looking for specific things, they can set up an email. So let's say, for example, if you're looking for Fiesta medium green, whenever there's a new listing that has that exact wording, you will get an email. So you don't even actually have to be on checking because you're going to get a notification. There's a new listing. Here it is. It's the teapot. It's the whatever
Yeah.
you can look at it. Then if you want it, you can go in and buy it. So for serious eBayers who collect specific things, you can set up these searches and you will just get an email. So you don't even have to go on to look. You can if you want, but maybe you don't have time to do that every single day. And if you are looking for something that's really special to you, setting up those emails is a recommendation that I would strongly suggest because you can get that email, you can go in, you can buy it, and it's yours. And you didn't even have to log in and try to search and go through and find. Because sometimes that can be challenging as well. If you're looking for something specific, that you use the correct keywords. So like I know for myself, as a China pattern that I collect that was discontinued, I inherited a small tea set, so I thought, oh, I like that, I'm going to build a whole China set.
That's what happens.
So I'm just like one of those people. And because this pattern is very rare, I never go on and look. I just get the emails when a new piece gets listed, and then I can say, oh, I already have that. Because I already have all the cups and saucers. That's what gets listed the most. And I just need a few of the serving pieces, which I don't know if I'm ever going to get them, but I'm going to keep on trying. But I've gotten all the dinner plates and all the rest of that too. So, but there's a perfect example. I don't have time to go on and look every day for my gravy boat. I'll just get an email if someone lists one, and then I can go in and bid or buy it. If
Also, when you're selling, you know the right wording. Like, that's another big thing with eBay is like, you got to describe something properly, and you got to take good pictures. And like,
yes,
you know, unless you have done it before, like, you're not really very good at it.
like anyone can sell on eBay.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a professional seller like Leslie and I are. You can set up an account, you can list your own item, but you need to be able to, like Leslie says, take good pictures. And the shipping part is the tough part, because people want to know what the shipping price is before they buy it. Because believe it or not, eBay has a lot of rules and regulations, but they do not have any when it comes to shipping, unless it's media, books, or CDs. So you could buy something, and if there's no shipping price on it, that seller can charge you whatever they want. So
Yeah.
let's say I buy a teapot, and they say, okay, great, now the shipping is $100, and they're in Michigan. Well, no, but they can charge whatever they want. So I do recommend, if you are going to buy something on eBay, always get the shipping price in
My husband
advance.
used to know the shipping prices from all over the place.
Yes.
And he'd say, oh, wait a minute, I just checked this.
Right.
So they'd usually come down with it if they
Yeah,
wanted to
you
buy it.
can challenge and ask for a lower price, or if you know that it's way off the
Yeah.
chart that, you know, this isn't right. But if you want it and that's what the price is, sometimes you pay it because if it's that something extra rare or that one thing that you need to complete your collection or the items that you have, sometimes you will pay that. But with what we do is we plug in the weight of the item with the packing. So you have to think about the box and the packing material. And we put the dimensions of the box that we will use on the listing, so someone elsewhere in the world can just say, I live here in this country, how much is it going to cost to ship? And they will get an exact price. And all of the prices include insurance as well. Because part of our service is that if a parcel goes missing or arrives damaged, which doesn't happen very often because we're very careful, we deal with any issues that may come up. We wouldn't even let you know